Arahato Samma Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Today we will study new topic, Nibbāna. Nibbāna. This is a very important for Buddhists. So this is the aim, final aim for all Buddhists. I think I will use a lot of references. I will use a lot of suttas to explain about Nibbāna from different dimensions. But if you think that it is a little bit complicated, so don't worry. So I will try to, we will finalize, So at the end of all the lessons, I hope about 5 or 6 lessons about Nibbāna. Then after that, you will clearly understand what is Nibbāna. Because sometimes when we use a lot of references, a lot of materials, it became very complicated. But don't worry, at the end of the lessons, and I will make a final conclusion. What is Nibbāna actually is. First of all, so we'll go back to the first sermon, Dhammacakkappawttana Sutta. Actually, we have learned this one. So in the first sermon, the Buddha used the word Nibbāna, dukkha nidora, cessation of suffering. Very beautiful terms, Everybody does not like suffering, both mental and physical. So that means if you attain Nibbāna, that will be all cessation of suffering, all type of suffering. Very beautiful term. Cessation of suffering. This is another synonym of Nibbāna. So in that discourse, the Buddha said that now this bhikkhus is the noble truth of cessation of suffering, or the noble truth of Nibbāna. It is the remainderless fading away and cessation of that same craving, the giving up and relinquishing of it, and freedom from it, and non-reliant on it. So actually in the first discourse, so the Buddha talk about suffering, the truth of suffering. Then the Buddha talk about second noble truth, the origin of suffering. And now the Buddha talk about cessation of suffering, or Nibbāna. So Nibbāna is nothing but total fading away, remainderless fading away of craving. So if you can, how to say, if you do not have any craving, so that means Nibbāna. So when you can, how to say, remove all type of craving when you are very young, you will attain Nibbāna when you are very young. So when you can remove craving when you grow old, when you are old, you attain Nibbāna when you are old. So that means any time. So if we can clear all type of craving, we can attain Nibbāna. Whether you are educated or not educated, whether you are women or men, whether you are rich or poor, it doesn't matter. Anytime, if you can remove craving, you attain Nibbāna. So that is cessation of suffering. So this noble truth or the cessation of suffering is to be realized. So you have to realize cessation of suffering. You have to realize Nibbāna. Nibbāna. So if we look at this one, Nibbāna is used as a dukkha nidora, cessation of suffering. So later we'll talk about different names for Nibbāna or synonyms of Nibbāna. So according to the Pali dictionary, which was written in the 12th century AD, so we have 46 names about Nibbāna. It can be more than that. Later I will combine all these synonyms or the Nibbāna so that you have a better understanding, from different dimensions, from different aspects. So here, Nibbāna is used as a cessation of suffering. So dependent origination for noble truths. Actually, this is we have learned in previous week in the Sattarian Sutta, Taṇhā Sutta in Anguttara Nikaya. So the Buddha equate that noble truths with the cessation order or dependent originations. So Nibbāna is equate with the cessation order or dependent originations. So if you do not have ignorance, there will be no sankhara, no karma. The no karma, no consciousness. No consciousness, no nama rupa, mind and matter, like this. So the Buddha equate the third noble truth or Nibbāna with the cessation formula or dependent originations. So the last line or the cessation or dependent origination reads like this: such is the cessation of this whole mass of suffering. But here you can read the cessation of suffering. So we can understand that the third noble truth is nothing but cessation formula of dependent originations. But this is a very too academic. So later we will learn a easier way to understand Nibbāna. Also, we'll go back to previous sutta that we have learned, dukkha sutta. Depending on the I and forms, I consciousness arises. Consciousness. The meeting of the three is called contact. With the contact as condition, there is feeling. With the feeling as condition, there is craving. If you are not mindful, if you do not have a sampajana, then there will be craving. Craving will arise. So this is from the but remainderless fading away, and cessation of that same craving comes cessation of clinging. If you do not have a craving, no clinging, and no clinging, no existence. But here, existence means the sense sphere existence and five material existence and immaterial existence. 31 planes of existence. So if you don't have any craving and clinging, there will be no existence. If there is no existence, there will be no path. If there is no path, there will be no aging and death. Very clear, very easy to understand. But if you do not have any path, there will be no sorrow, lamentation, pain, displeasure, despair cease. So this is cessation of this whole mass of suffering. This is the passing away of suffering. That is Nibbāna. Of course, this is a final Nibbāna. If you do not have any craving and clinging, at the end of that consciousness, there will be no path. No path, no aging and death, etc. Right? So this will be Nibbāna, final Nibbāna. For that reason, we have learned this one. Craving is the change that factor beings in samsara, that factor beings in suffering, problem. If you can break craving, so that will be cessation of craving. In other words, that is Nibbāna. I think if you understand what is craving is, you can reduce the amount of suffering. Suffering can be physical and mental, right? So the most important here is trying to understand what is craving. So we have a different type of craving. Today I think I will just go back to what is craving again. So in Ariya Priyasana Sutta, actually Ariya Priyasana means the noble search. So in that Sutta, the Buddha talk about how he attained enlightenment, how he seek after Nibbāna. So in this discourse, the Buddha talk about a short form of dependent originations. So according to this Sutta, the Buddha became the Buddha by realizing dependent originations. So in that Sutta, after becoming the Buddha, and the Buddha did that, the Buddha consider this Dhamma that I have attained is profound, very deep, hard to see and hard to understand, peaceful and sublime, unattainable by mere reasoning. That's very important. Atthakavācara. Unattainable by mere reasoning. Actually, the enlightenment cannot be attained by just mere reasoning. It is beyond reasoning. You have to practice the Noble Eightfold Path. Actually, jhana is a beyond reasoning, and supernatural power beyond reasoning. Enlightenment, actually, let alone enlightenment, So here, the Dhamma that I have attained is unattainable by mere reasoning. Satin, to be experienced by the wise. If you are wise enough, then you can attain, you can experience, Tandetikko, you can experience. Anyone can experience the bliss of Nibbāna. So here, the Buddha said that. Actually, in that Sutta, the Buddha used the word Patisodagami, going against the water currents. So in the river, if you go with the flow, it's very easy, right? If you go with the flow, very easy. But if you go against the water current, very difficult. You need a lot of strength. You need a lot of willpower. So just like that, the Buddha used the word, his Dhamma, the Noble Eightfold Path, the Four Noble Truths, as a Patisodagami, going against the currents. So it's not a normal practice that all the people are following. Actually, people are going with the flow, So that means normally people enjoy sensual pleasures, right? They have for that reason the Buddha said that this generation delights in attachment, takes delight in attachment, rejoice the attachment. So people are looking after sensual pleasures. That is a normal practice, going with the flow, water current. But the Buddha said that his teachings is a patisodagami. For that reason, the core teachings of the Buddha, especially the Noble Eightfold Path, is not popular among the mass, among the public. So the reason is people are going with the flow, The Four Noble Truths, don't forget that this is a advanced teaching, advanced teaching of the Buddha. So it is just like a going against the water currents. Not easy, but if you can go, then you will read the end of suffering, the end of suffering. It is hard for such generation to see this truth, namely specific conditionality, dependent originations. Actually, it's very hard to understand dependent originations. Very hard to see, the dependent originations. It is always go against the normal practice, right? People always look after sensual pleasures. But the Buddha teach, if you have an attachment to sensual pleasures, this will be craving. Craving is the origin of suffering. But the Buddha said we have to remove such type of craving. So what I want to say is the Noble Eightfold Path, Four Noble Truths. It is just like a patisodagami going against the water current. It's not easy, but if you go against the water current, there will be no suffering, At least you can reduce the amount of suffering. So today I want to talk about different stages of craving. I think we have learned three types of craving. Craving for sensual pleasures. So you crave for something you see, something you hear, you taste, you smell, you touch. That's craving for sensual pleasures. So craving for existence. So actually we want existence. We crave for it. And also, if the object is not good, we don't want existence of that object, or the sound, or the taste, or the smell, wherever, We don't want existence of that object. That is called craving for non-existence. So we have a three type of craving. So here, I want to talk about different stages of craving. Actually, I should have talked in the Second Noble Truth, but Second Noble Truth and Third Noble Truth, they are linking, They are linking. So if you can remove Second Noble Truth, that will be Nibbāna. So Nibbāna is, just flick, craving. Then if you can flip craving, Nibbāna. One side of, two sides of the same coin, But of course, many Buddhist, some Buddhist philosophers, and they develop philosophy, philosophical teachings. So actually it became very complicated. So do not think about it, right? Okay, so different stages of craving. Here, you will find the word rāga, lust, or greed, lobha, sometimes craving, sometimes clinging. So they are almost the same. So the Buddha interchangeably use those terms. So actually they are not much different. So we have to keep it in your mind like this. But of course there are a few, few differences. So we have a different stages of different level of craving. Number one, sensory craving. Sensory craving. Actually, it's nothing but craving for sensual pleasures. Normally, we crave for sensory objects. Something you see, something you hear, etc. So that is a sensory craving. Number one. Number two, fine material craving. This one became higher. So when you crave for meditative achievement, when you attain rupa jhana, you crave for it. That's also craving, another type of craving. Next one is a immaterial craving. So this craving is getting higher. So this is a craving for arupa jhana. Arupa jhana. Number four, Nibbāna craving. Actually, the Buddhist scholar, they don't want to use the word. They don't want to, they don't want to use Nibbāna and craving together. But today we studying two sodas to highlight this one. But of course, in the Pali Canon, so there's not mention about Nibbāna craving. But by studying the sodas, we can understand this one. This is because some people ask the question, is there anything such as craving for Nibbāna like this? Even a few weeks ago, so one of the students asked me in the class, craving for Nibbāna. So actually, we can say that there's a Nibbāna craving or desire for Nibbāna. So we have a different level of craving. At least we can say that 4 levels of craving. Number one, sensory craving. Regarding with the sensory craving, I will divide 2. Sensory craving in misconduct level, unwholesome level. Just like a desire to steal the property of other people. You want to steal the property of other people. That is unwholesome actions. So you commit stealing because of craving. You crave for that one, that object. Just like a desire to commit sexual misconduct. Even though you get married, so you want to commit sexual misconduct with other partner, other people. So that is because of craving or because of lobha, greed. So actually this is a craving, sensory craving, but this is a unwholesome, in misconduct. Actually in Pali we use it misconduct, docharita. So in this level, so if you have such type of craving, it will lead to unwholesome destinations. The next one is a sensory craving in normal level. Nothing wrong with this. Just like a desire to eat a delicious food. So this is a human nature, right? We want to eat delicious food. So this is a sensory craving in normal level. But if you crave for the food that you do not belong to, that is not yours, it will be misconduct level. But if you enjoy your own food, nothing wrong. But you cannot attain Nibbāna. You will not go. It will not produce, unwholesome result to go to unwholesome destinations. So it doesn't matter. You can enjoy your own food. It doesn't matter. It's normal level. But when you want to attain jhana, Or when you want to attain magga and phala, then you don't have to crave for it. If you crave for even your own food, it will be hindrance, hindrance for the attainment of jhana, magga and phala. Just like a sexual desire with your own partner. Nothing wrong with this. You can enjoy. You can fulfill your sexual desire with your own partner. It doesn't matter. It will not bring you to unhappy destinations. So even for those, but your own partner is very important, right? Very important. That is if you are enjoying with your own partner, that will be sensory craving. Nothing wrong with it. It's a normal level. But when you want to attain Nibbāna, you have to remove it. Right? It doesn't mean you don't need to break up. The moment you are meditating, no desire, you have to control your desire. Other time is okay. The next one, desire to become rich, desire to become famous, and desire to be successful. So that is also sensory desire. Actually, this is a taṇhā, right? Taṇhā. Nothing wrong with this. Then you want to become rich. As long as you are how to say, as long as you are doing your, not committing unwholesome actions, is okay. Then you want to become famous, or you want to become successful. But here, don't forget about how to say, the minor arahant and the Buddha. And arahant and the Buddha, they don't have any desire to be rich or to be successful or to be famous. Actually, they do something, they think that they should do it. If they do it, it will be beneficial for many people. Because of that, they do. Right? It's called Kriya, Kriya Cheda. I think it's a very beautiful term in Abhidhamma. So if you do something, because you think that you should do it. If you do it, many people will benefit from it. Because of that, you do. That will be Kriya Cheda, Kriya Cheda. But you do something because you want to be a famous person, You do that, you want to get something. That is sensory craving, Sensory craving. So it will not bring you to unhappy destinations, but it will be hindrances for the attainment of jhana, magga and phala. So in Samyutta Nikaya, we have one chapter, chapter number 70, Labha Sakara Sanyota. So in that sutta, the Buddha suggests, the Buddha admonished to the monks. So actually he said that gain, material gain, honor, people honor, and praise, people praise you. Gain, honor, and praise are dangerous. The Buddha said that. Don't follow, trying to abandon those ones. If somebody cannot abandon, gain, honor, praise, it will be hindrances for the attainment of jhana, magga and phala. Samyutta Nikaya, chapter 70, It's talking to the monks, not for the normal people. But of course, you want gain, honor, and praise. Fame, it doesn't matter. That is a sensory craving in normal level. You can have it, but for those who want to attain higher spiritual achievement, you have to abandon them. Abandon them means no craving at all. Even you have a gain, even you have an honor, even people praise you, no craving, no delight in it. So then only you achieve spiritual attainment. So I think this is a getting higher and higher. No? This is sensory craving in normal level. But next one is a fine material craving. We call it rupa taṇhā. Craving for joyous, pleasurable and tranquil experiences during fine material jhana. The moment you attain rupa jhana, you have a joyous and pleasurable feeling. Then after meditation, you have a joyous and pleasurable feeling. You crave for it. So actually, very often it happens that if you have a good meditation, the bliss of meditative achievement, we crave for it. We want, we want to attain again and again. So that is craving. Many people do not understand that one. So maybe in one time, they achieve a blissful state of meditative bliss, meditative experience. Then because of that, they try hard. They want to attain that level. That's craving. So the moment you are meditating, don't think about anything. Just focus on your meditation object. The moment you think about your meditative bliss that you have achieved earlier, that will be craving. So craving will block your way to achieving higher spiritual achievement. So for that reason, even rupa jhana, the bliss of rupa jhana, normally we crave for it. That's also craving. So another one is a craving for the life for rupa existences. Then of course this will be the Brahma, actually normal Brahma. They will have a craving for it. So they will crave for their life, long life, and meditative experiences. So that will be craving for the life for rupa existences. But you might think that craving and desire for such meditative bliss, of course, it is not unwholesome one. It's not unwholesome. So it is good to have craving such one. But if you crave for it, it will be hindrances for them, especially for attaining magga and phala. So actually, even such a very high, noble spiritual achievement, you don't have to crave for it. No craving at all, no? The next one is a immaterial craving. Actually, immaterial jhana is getting higher. Your concentration is getting more stable. And also you have your bliss of meditation is getting less, longer and longer. For that reason, you crave for it. So craving might arise for such meditative bliss. That is called immaterial craving. Craving for tranquil bliss during and after arupa jhana. Another one is a craving for the life for arupa existences. You crave for being arupa Brahma. Arupa Brahma. So you want to be born as a arupa Brahma. That's a craving. But of course, in the normal level, it's very good. It's good. Desire to become a Brahma is very good. Right? At least you need to attain jhana. So it is a good aspiration. But if we look at the wrong view, from the Nibbāna point of view, such craving also not good, not good. The next one is a Nibbāna craving. Of course, desire for attaining Nibbāna is very good. So without desire, you cannot attain Nibbāna. You must have a desire to attain Nibbāna first. But even such a noble desire have to be abandoned when you want to attain real Nibbāna. Right? Your Nibbāna is very subtle one. To attain Nibbāna, you need desire to attain Nibbāna. But if you want to attain real Nibbāna, you have to abandon such. The moment you're going to attain Nibbāna, you have to abandon them. So actually, the commentary give a very beautiful simile, example. Suppose there is a small stream, this side is very dangerous. The other side is very safe. So you don't have any boat, you cannot cross, But in this side, there is a very big tree with a lot of vine, yeah, vine, trees and branches. Then you need to use that vine or trees and branches to cross over, to cross over the other shore. Then you hold it, then you sway your body. So then the moment you arrive the other shore, you have to let go that branches or that vine, the vine. If you stay attached to that vine, you cannot reach to the other shore. Very subtle one. You use the trees and branches for crossing over the stream. But when you want to reach the other shore, you have to let go that one. Just like that, But I think if you look at Onaba soda, I think you were clear. It was very clear. But of course, desire for Nibbāna is a must to attain Nibbāna. But even such a noble desire have to be abandoned. Actually, some people ask, craving for Nibbāna is good or is bad? I think we can use the craving for Nibbāna by studying two sodas. One is called Bhikkhuni soda. Bhikkhuni soda in Gotra Nikaya, chapter 4, soda number 159. So in that soda, one of the Bhikkhunis requested Venerable Ananda to come and see her. Actually, she pretended that she is gravely ill, sick. So she went to see Venerable Ananda. Actually, Venerable Ananda is very popular among everyone, the women, men, and the monks, and Bhikkhuni. Because I think he is very compassionate, I think. Venerable Ananda is very compassionate. For that reason, everyone is very happy to talk to him. And when Venerable Ananda give a Dhamma talk, everyone is very happy. Then when he stop, also very happy. wherever he do, I think because of that, because of compassion, he's very helpful for everyone. But here, a certain Bhikkhuni went to meet Venerable Ananda, and he told one of the men and to request Venerable Ananda to come and see her. But of course, Venerable Ananda come and see that Bhikkhuni. Then Venerable Ananda know that she is not sincere. Then Venerable Ananda give it Dhamma talk. And so in this sutta, he said that this body, I didn't have to use the suttas. Actually, this sutta is very beautiful. Venerable Ananda said that this body has originated from nutriment, ahara, food. Actually, we have learned earlier. Independent on nutriment is to be abandoned. Nutriment is to be abandoned. So we have a 4 type of nutriment. We have learned. So these are the nutriments are embodied for the arising of craving. So by using nutriment, then you skillfully use your wisdom not to attach those nutriment. So by practicing, by using nutriment, later you are able to abandon nutriment. So that means you attain Nibbāna. When you attain Nibbāna, there will be no nutriment. The second one is this body has originated from craving. So Venerable Ananda said that independent on craving is to be abandoned. So here, craving me. Actually, I think you can read the sutta. It will be it's very beautiful. But here, craving me, a person or a monk or a nun, and he hear that. So one of the monks became arahant, attained enlightenment, and he also craving, for the attainment of enlightenment. Then he practiced. Then later he attained enlightenment or he became arahant. Depending on craving for enlightenment, because of that craving, then he practiced the Noble Eightfold Path. Because of that, later he himself became arahant. So for that reason, Venerable Ananda said that independent on craving for enlightenment, craving or desire to become arahant, craving is to be abandoned. The moment he or she become arahant, craving is abandoned. No more craving. No? So by looking at this sutta, then we can understand that we can use craving for Nibbāna or craving for enlightenment. Actually, this another one is a conceit or mana. A person here that a certain person became arahant, and he think that even that person became arahant, attain enlightenment, why not me? I also can become arahant. Conceit. Compare, compare oneself with another person based on ego. Even that person attain enlightenment, why not me? I also can become arahant. Conceit. So independent on conceit, actually conceit is a unwholesome mental state. Even that unwholesome mental state, depending on that conceit, then when one can abandon, the conceit. So the moment he became arahant, there will be no conceit at all, right? The next one, regarding with this sexual intercourse. This body has originated from sexual intercourse, but in regard to sexual intercourse, the Blessed One has declared the demolition of the bridge. If you demolish the bridge, you cannot cross. Regarding with the sexual intercourse, you have to abandon. Actually, there is no excuse, no excuse. So these are the 4 items Venerable Ananda taught to the Bhikkhuni. So Bhikkhuni became regrets and remorse, feel remorse, then she apologized. So actually, according to this discourse, Bhikkhuni Sutta, we can understand that craving for Nibbāna, craving for enlightenment, craving for becoming arahant is possible. Depending on craving, later you'll be able to abandon craving. The moment you attain, you become arahant. So that is what the Sutta said. Don't forget that this is not taught by the Buddha, taught by Venerable Ananda, disciple of the Buddha, disciple of the Buddha. Then I want you another one from Patthana text from Abhidhamma. So this is the most difficult text in the Abhidhamma. So actually this is a conditional relations. Paragraph number 423. Paragraph number 423. So there, Rāga Upanisaya Dhanandeti Silan Samadhiyati Ubosara Kamankrodi, like this, you know. Magga Upadeti. So this is the translation. By the strong dependent Upanishad or the last Rāga, one offers the offering. So you have a lust or craving for becoming deva, or you want to come back human realm, that's a lust or craving, then you do dana. Depending on unwholesome actions, then you do wholesome one, right? Sometimes you fear or going to hell, then you do good deed, right? Because of unwholesome actions, you know, that is a dependent originations, no? Dependent originations. Because of lust, you do dana. Because of lust, you keep precept. So you want to become something, then you keep precept. So you learn from the Sutta that if you keep precept, you will go to heaven, you know? You will go to heaven. So that is lust, you know, or craving. So because of that craving, you keep precept. Then fulfill the duty of observance. Actually, that is a uposatha. You know that by observing uposatha, observances, then you will accumulate a lot of merit. Craving for accumulating a lot of merit. You know, there is also craving. Because of that craving, you do good things. Then because of lust, you develop jhana. Because of that, you develop jhana. And develop insight, and develop path or magga. Or develop super knowledge means abhiññāna, and you develop attainment. But here, what I want to say is, depending on lust, then you do dana. Because of that, you keep precept. Because of that, you meditate. Then you attain jhana. Because of lust, then you practice meditation. Then you attain magga. So if we look at this one, so that is called dependent originations. So actually, if you want to learn dependent originations, the first one is Four Noble Truths. Four Noble Truths also dependent originations. Then if you want to elaborate Four Noble Truths, then 12-fold formula, dependent originations. if you want to further elaborate Nibbāna originations, taṇhā. So the taṇhā is, how to say, the most complete cause and effect or causality. For that reason, conditional relations. Because of that, this happened. That is another type of Nibbāna originations. For that reason, of course, taṇhā is very difficult, but if you know it, very, very beneficial to understand, all the conditions. Some people, they do good deed because of lust. Some people, they do good deed because of hatred. Some do good deed because of delusion, like this, right? So that is a conditional relations. So if we look at this one, craving for Nibbāna, craving for Magga, phala, and craving for enlightenment is possible. But of course, craving for Nibbāna is very good. Super, super good. But it's still called craving, craving. Very subtle one, very subtle one. And some people ask, is desire for Nibbāna bad? Not bad. But if we look at from the Nibbāna point of view, it is very bad, Even desire, as I earlier said that, even desire for the achieving Nibbāna itself is a craving. If you have such type of craving, you cannot attain Nibbāna. According to Onnabba Sutta, even desire have to be abandoned when attain Nibbāna. And Venerable Ananda said that he earlier had the desire for the attainment of arahantship or attainment of enlightenment. And when he attained arahantship, the corresponding desire subsided. Somebody want to become arahant, desire to become arahant. Such desire is not good if we look at from Taṇhā view, Nibbāna point of view. But such desire is very noble, very, very good if we look at from Taṇhā view. No, bottom up view. If you look at bottom up view, it's very good. But when you want to attain Nibbāna, even such desire have to be abandoned. Then I think I will give the same example. Some people, while they are meditating, they have a desire to achieve, higher achievement, spiritual achievement. They forget about meditation object. Suppose they are using breathing object. So what you have to do is just focus on breathing object. But instead of doing that, you have desire for achieving Nibbāna. That desire will block your way. You forget about your job, Your job is just focus on breathing object. So just like that, you want to attain Nibbāna, desire for attaining Nibbāna is very good. But when you want to attain Nibbāna, even such a desire have to be abandoned. Then I will quote another famous one again. One meditator report to the same meditation master. So while he was meditating, the Buddha visit in his mind. And he asked what he should do. Then Zen master said that, kill the Buddha. Kill the Buddha. Actually, Zen teachings are very beautiful, Actually, they use metaphor. Kill the Buddha. So that means don't let the thought, even, the image of the Buddha, do not allow, don't allow even the image of the Buddha while you are meditating. But of course, when you are meditating, breathing meditation, what you have to do is just focus on breathing. Even a good thinking come in. Suppose you do good deed previous last year, so that memory come into your mind. But of course, in the normal level, such memory is very good. But when you are meditating, that is obstacle, that is obstacle. So for that reason, desire, desire, even desire to the Nibbāna, it is obstacle. You have to abandon it. It is good, but when you look at from the Nibbāna point of view, it's not good, right? Not good. Any question up to here? Okay. Please use microphone.
Thank you, Bhante. Just want to check, because you mentioned desire for Nibbāna is bad. But isn't that also depending on the intention? Because, some people want to achieve that, maybe they feel good, the feeling of self-achievement. I think that maybe is the bad part that you're referring to, because that is also a hindrance as well. But if let's say Nibbāna is just something that I achieve by doing everything step by step, like, let's say, for example, I need to go to a destination. I can't plan when will I reach, but by taking the first step by step, I'll reach it. Just like Nibbāna, I think so. Because ultimately, you cannot force the result to happen. Yeah. It should happen with your effort rather than the intention. Yeah, because I think the desire will hold you back and you start to go for it without doing the step-by-step process, I would say.
Yeah.
Is that correct? Because I think that is also
correct.
The intention.
You're correct. Actually, I forgot to mention about the simile or example that Venerable Ananda gave. Actually, so in the Sutta, in the Onnapa Sutta, the Brahmin is difficult to understand. You have to actually the Brahmin said that why the monks ordained as a Buddhist monk, and the Brahmin Venerable Ananda said that to abandon desire. So any type of desire, even desire for Nibbāna. So that is the purpose of becoming becoming the monks. So the Brahmin asked, is there any way to do that? Yes, the Noble Eightfold Path. So, sorry, not the Noble Eightfold Path. In that Sutta, Venerable Ananda give another path. That is a we call it spiritual power, spiritual power. Actually, I think if you read the Sutta, the basis for spiritual power. So we have 4 bases for spiritual power. Number 1, strong desire. If you want to attain Nibbāna, you must have a strong desire. Then number 2, energy, mental energy, or great effort. And number 3, a resolution or willpower. And number 4, investigation or wisdom. So for attaining Nibbāna, you need these 4. The basis for spiritual power. So based on that, a monk can abandon desire. So actually, the Brahmin confused, So to abandon desire, must have a desire. But he confused and he want to know further. For that reason, Venerable Ananda give a example. Example of a park, you know. So you want to visit a park. You have a desire to go to a park. Desire to go. Then, because of the desire, you went to the park. So the moment you arrive the park, there's no desire. The desire to go automatically subsided. So just like that, you have energy, you have resolution of willpower, you have investigation to go to Nibbāna. But the moment you attain final Nibbāna, the moment you become arahant, though desire, even desire to the Nibbāna, energy that you put for the attainment of Nibbāna, willpower, investigation subsided. Suppose you want to go to, you have a desire to go to Sentosa, desire to go to Sentosa. Because of that desire, you go there. The moment you arrive Sentosa, that desire subsided. But here, desire to attain Nibbāna, it is necessary, it is a must. You must have it. But when you want to attain final Nibbāna, you have to abandon this one, even that one, even that one. As you said that, step by step, step by step. Then I think I will talk about, I will use another one taught by Ajahn, very beautiful. Then I hope after reading this one, you will understand what the sutta means. Ajahn, in his book, Food for the Heart, a very thick one. And he said that, suppose you want to buy some coconuts in the market. So while you were carrying back home, someone will ask you, why did you buy those coconuts? I bought them to eat, you replied. Why you buying coconut? To eat. And he continued, are you going to eat the shell too? Because you bring the coconut, right? Together with the shell. Are you going to eat the shell too? Of course not. No, not at all. Then the other person said, I don't believe you. He insists, if you are not going to eat the shell, then why did you buy them? Why did you buy the shell elsewhere, Why? You do not, just flesh, just flesh. And Ajahn said that, well, what do you say? How are you going to answer that question? Actually, you bought a coconut from the market, somebody else. Why you buying coconut? To eat. Are you going to eat the shell too? Of course not. If so, why you buying the coconut? Including shell, including shell. Then he said that we practice with the desire to become Sotapanna, desire to attain Nibbāna, desire to become something, desire to attain jhana, etc. We practice with the desire. If we didn't have desire, we wouldn't practice. No way to practice. Desire is a must. Must have a desire. Practicing with the desire is taṇhā or craving. So you practice meditation. Some people may have, they want to remove all their problem, That's a craving. So they want to achieve jhana, that's craving. They want to attain Nibbāna, that's craving. Even that one, craving for Nibbāna. Practicing with the desire is craving. As for the coconuts, of course, you are not going to eat the shell. Then why do you take them? Because the time hasn't yet come for you to throw them away. Not time yet, not time yet. You are using for wrapping up the coconut. Actually, you use coconut shell to cover the flesh inside. You need to bring, otherwise, if you just bring just flesh, it's not a fresh, it's not a fresh. For that reason, you bring together with the shell. So actually, the shell are useful for the wrapping of the coconut. If after eating the coconut, you throw the shells away, that's not a problem. Actually, only after eating the flesh inside coconut, then you throw the shell. Before you eat, so they are useful for to wrap the flesh inside. Just like that, desire to attain Nibbāna is very useful. Because of that desire, you practice. Then after you practice, you attain Nibbāna. By that moment, you can throw away, that desire. A very subtle one, very subtle one. Here, what I want to highlight is, so we have a different stages of craving. Even craving for Nibbāna, it is a very good, very good. We are not saying it is not good, but if we look at from Nibbāna point of view, from Torah view, it's still bad, it's still bad. For that reason, the Buddha said that gain, honor, praise, they are dangerous, they are dangerous. But normal people, they are following after them, But the Buddha say, no, don't follow, abandon them, Don't want to become famous, don't want to become rich. It doesn't mean, you have to try, but desire, desire. You try hard to accumulate wealth, but don't have desire to be rich. But even though you don't have a desire to be rich, you will be rich if you accumulate wealth, right? Just like that, even desire to the Nibbāna have to abandon, have to abandon, let alone other people, other things. So here, I think when we learn about Silabra Brahmasa, how to say that, clinging to rites and rituals, clinging to rites and rituals, then I said that. Actually, the rites and rituals also sometimes embodied. So they are embodied because it's useful for wrapping the essence inside, as in the insides. So we can have a lot of Dhamma classes here, and we can run a lot of classes, Pali College, Sunday School, Abhidhamma, Suttas. These are the essence, But to have those essence, we need to have a rites and rituals. Without rites and rituals, you cannot run all these way, So they are useful, just like a shell or the coconut. So, but we must know they are rites and rituals. We must know. But the moment you become Sotapanna, you can throw them away. You can throw them away. But before you become Sotapanna, you stay need, You stay need those rites and rituals. What I mean is to have a better understanding, better understanding. For that reason, Bhante Dhammaratana, how to say it? Keshri Dhammananda, Keshri Dhammananda, he said that rites and rituals are important to attract the public. But they are not important for true spiritual seeker. You don't need to follow rites and rituals for the spiritual seeker. But they are very important to attract the public, to the public. Just like a share, right? But there will be a time that you don't need them, to throw them away, throw them away. Take question. Okay, question.
Bhante, you've talked about dependent origination as related to lust. And everything that you've talked about, the achievement of Nibbāna, is related to craving, and giving rise to clinging. And obviously, when it's related to sensory craving, it arises because of contact with our rupa, senses of our rupa.
Yeah.
I just want to ask you, what about a different approach rather than to deal with pleasurable senses that gives rise to desire, craving, clinging?
Yeah.
What about developing something that is an aversion to, like the coconut? If you have an aversion to coconut, you don't have to worry about the shell. What about this different approach in terms of dependent origination? Does that make any sense at all?
Yeah, very good question. Actually, I think you are very new, right? You just came today? Oh, okay, because of that, because of that. Actually, we have learned a lot about what you say. The question is very beautiful. Normally, when pleasant feeling arises, when we experience pleasant things, craving or desire arises easily, Suppose you don't like coconut. But anyway, no choice. There's nothing other than coconut in the island. No food at all. If you do not eat coconut, you will not survive, But of course, aversion to a coconut, Aversion to a coconut. So actually, what the Buddha taught is very clear. Wherever you experience pleasant or unpleasant feeling, no craving, no desire, and no hatred. So when you are in the islands where only coconut is the food, if you do not eat coconut, you will die. But you have to eat it for the survival, even though you hate it, right? But by the time you eat coconut, if hatred or aversion arises in your mind, it's suffering, it's suffering. So that aversion, actually we have learned in the craving for non-existence. I want to encourage you to listen previous lessons. So we have learned the origin of suffering, that is craving. So we have learned different type of craving. So wherever you experience, whether pleasant or unpleasant or neutral, you have to practice mindfulness. If pleasant feeling arises, you are mindful that pleasant feeling arises. then you have to know what you are doing. That is sampajana or wisdom. Wisdom. Only two, only two. Unpleasant feeling arises, just like eating coconut in your case. So you just know that unpleasant sensation, unpleasant sensations. That's mindfulness. And you know that is unpleasant sensation. That is sampajana, wisdom. If you practice mindfulness and sampajana, there's no suffering in your mind. No anger at all, no aversion at all. So you eat coconut just for the surviving. That's all, that's all. Okay. Question? Okay.
Bhante, just like to clarify, is Nibbāna considered like a state of mind where there's no craving, no aversion, neither pleasant or unpleasant feeling? Because just now if I look at the first slide, we're looking at the 3 definitions of Nibbāna. And I believe that Nibbāna is not a place that we go to, but it's like a state of mind where there's no craving.
It's not a state of mind.
Yeah, I just want to know.
Nibbāna is an object.
Object?
An object that you experience with your mind. Not a normal mind.
Okay, it's an object.
Magga and phala. Suppose you think about something, right? Then because of thinking in your mind, you feel very happy.
Yes.
So
is it a sensation?
you have a mind object, mind object.
Okay.
So Nibbāna is called Dhamma Ramana, mind object.
Mind object.
It's not a mind. So you experience Nibbāna using your mind. So when you have a magga and phala, you can experience the bliss of Nibbāna anytime, anywhere.
Okay.
That is something not exist anywhere, but you can experience with your mind.
Is it like a peaceful mind, something like that?
Not a mind. Not a
no,
mind.
what I meant is like peace. That means you are not affected by the external and also by the internal. That means there's no craving, no aversion, neither pleasant or unpleasant, that state.
If
you know
do
that state I'm talking about,
Actually, this is just the first definition, We have a lot of definition. Later I will come. So according to the sutta that we have learned, if you do not have craving, the devoid of craving is Nibbāna. Suppose...
So every time we have this state, we are always Nibbāna? Like small, little enlightenment for that moment? If let's say today, at this point, I'm very peaceful, there's no craving, no anything.
We can call it... It's not a real Nibbāna.
Yeah, that's why I say like...
we call it momentary Nibbāna.
Momentary.
So actually later we will study one sutta that talk about momentary Nibbāna.
Okay.
It's not a real one, but the moment you do not have a craving, that is momentary Nibbāna.
And this is only experienced through the mind.
To the mind. Suppose normally when you hear criticism, people become agitated, angry because of criticism, If you are angry in your mind is not peaceful, The blood, all your facial expressions, bodily expressions, tend to very agitated, It's suffering. But sometimes, even though somebody criticized without any base, there's no anger in your mind. You know that you're very mindful at that moment. You hear unpleasant sound. You know that unpleasant sound as an unpleasant sound. you clearly understand, you clearly comprehend, you clearly know criticism as a criticism. So you have in your mind, mindfulness and sampajana or wisdom at that moment. Anger is no place. Anger has no place for arise. So by that moment, even though you hear criticism, somebody criticize you, no anger in your mind. That is momentary Nibbāna. Because you don't have a anger in your mind. It's very beautiful, very beautiful. I think later we will study with the Bodhisattva, no? Okay, it's good. But here I want to talk about, Dhamma is like a raft. So in Lakatupama Sutta, so one of the monks put forward the idea. So the Buddha said that if you practice those one, it will be dangerous for the spiritual path. Just like a sexual intercourse. And the Buddha said that sexual intercourse, mituna, is a hindrance for the attainment of jhana, magga, and phala. But that monk called Areta, he doesn't agree on that. So I know what the Buddha taught, but if we follow, if we practice those one, that will not be a danger or that will not be a hindrance. Then the monks, other monks trying to convince that monk, no, you shouldn't think like this. The Buddha have already stated that these are the hindrances, these are the dangers for the attainment of jhana, magga, and phala. But he didn't listen, Because of that, the Buddha taught this discourse. It's called Lakatupama, simile or snake. So when you grab, when you grab the snake, if you cannot grab properly, it's very dangerous, very dangerous. So if you grab or if you take the snake in his body, the snake will bite you, bite you. So it's very dangerous. But when you take in his neck, in his neck, the snake cannot do anything. He might crying, with his body, but it is not very harmful. It's not very harmful. If you can handle the snake properly, it's not dangerous. So just like that, some people use the teachings of the Buddha improperly. It's very dangerous for them. The Dhamma is just like a snake. So if you cannot handle the Dhamma properly, very dangerous for you. Very dangerous, very dangerous. Just like a snake. So I think if you want to become a Dhamma teacher, you must understand what you are teaching properly. Suppose if you are teaching improper way, it's very dangerous, very dangerous. Then some people use the Dhamma for their own sake, for their own end. It's also very dangerous, very dangerous. And the Buddha said that some people, if somebody criticize teachings of the Buddha, or if somebody criticize the Buddha and Sangha, they feel very angry, Some Buddhists, Of course, many Buddhists. So if the Tripajin was criticized in the newspapers, on the online, you feel very angry. Just like a snake, You do not handle the Dhamma properly. So the Buddha have given the way how to handle the Dhamma in the first Sutta in Digha Nikaya, Brahmajala Sutta, If somebody criticized Tripajin, Do not feel angry, Be mindful and clearly comprehend what they are talking. Then you reply in according with the Dhamma. No anger at all, no anger at all. But if people, praise the triple gem, don't feel elated. If you feel elated, you do not know what is truth and what is wrong, So it's very dangerous, Without any elation, so when they are talking the truth, then you acknowledge. So what you are saying is truth. Then I think 7 or 8 years ago, so there was an article is circulating in the social media that talk about the Buddhism is the best religion in the world. So in that article, it's written, beautifully written, in the conference among the religious leaders, religious leaders, and they vote Buddhism as the best religion in the world. Some priests from Islam, they even praise, why Buddhism is the best religion in the world. But of course, many Buddhists, they're very happy because Buddhism is the best religion in the world, without analyzing or investigating whether this article, this news is correct. Because of elation, because of craving, then they separate that article, So that is, according to the Buddha, even you hear praise about triple gem, don't feel elated. Be mindful and be trying to have a sampajana, clearly comprehend. So that means you're trying to investigate whether it is truth or false, right? So then only if it is truth, trying to acknowledge then. So what you say is truth, right? So that is the Buddha's advice to his disciples. That's very important. And the Buddha said that bhikkhus, the Dhamma is similar to a raft, being for the purpose of crossing over the stream, not for the purpose of grasping. So in that sutta, the Buddha said that a man went to cross the stream because this side is very dangerous and the other shore is very safe. For that, there is no boat. For that reason, he collect bamboos and all the thatches, all the leaf, and he make a raft. Using that raft and making his leg as a row, then he crossed the stream. So when you arrive the other shore, and he think that this raft is very helpful for me. It saved my life. Then thinking like this, he carry the raft wherever he go. And the Buddha said that raft is for the purpose of crossing over, not to attach, not to attach. The Buddha said that understanding so, you should abandon even the Dhamma, even craving to the Dhamma, you have to abandon. Regarding with the Dhamma, you learn the Dhamma to cross over the suffering, to practice, not for the grasping, If you grasp the teachings of the Buddha, if somebody criticizes, then you feel very angry. Anger is unwholesome mental state. So even the Dhamma, we have to abandon. So abandon here means not to practice. It doesn't mean not to practice. Forget about the Dhamma. No, doesn't mean, Craving to the Dhamma, right? So you don't have to crave for the Dhamma. The Dhamma is for the purpose of crossing over the suffering of samsara. It's very important, I think. So because of that, so when I read articles that criticize Buddhism, so I can control my mind, by learning these suttas, It's very important. So 8 or 9 years ago, social media is not very popular yet. So we have to use blog, to read the news and to write. So there is one blog always criticize Buddhism. And they use the picture of the Buddha and the picture of the monks to pinpoint wrong things, So many people feel very angry, But for me, I'm also not very happy, but I go there and read what they are writing. The reason is to know why they are criticizing those things. So in this way, I can learn more about ourselves, ourselves. If something is wrong with us, we can change, If something is not wrong with us, then we can respond without any anger, The Dhamma is to practice, not to use as just like a raft. Even the Dhamma, no attachment at all, right? Even the Dhamma. The Buddha said, how much more so things contrary to the Dhamma. Regarding with something that are contrary to the Dhamma, no attachment, no attachment. So that is actually very beautiful things in Buddhism. And the Buddha said that even somebody criticized triple gems, even himself, no anger. He doesn't allow for the rising of anger. Okay, up to now, I think we have learned different level of different stages of craving. Regarding with the English translation, I want to talk about desire and craving. So that is not that is taught by Venerable Gunaratana, a famous meditation master. So in his article, he said that the word taṇhā is often and adequately rendered as a desire. But the word desire hardly conveys all that is connoted by the Pali word taṇhā. Actually, he doesn't like translation of desire, translating the word taṇhā as a desire. Because Opula Rahula, so in his book, what the Buddha taught, in his book, he translates craving as a desire. Craving as a desire. Actually, Bhante Gunaratana is from Sri Lanka, the same country, but he doesn't like translating craving taṇhā as a desire. But actually, translating taṇhā as a desire is not wrong. It's not wrong according to two sutta, right? That we have learned. But he doesn't like. But of course, he said that the word desire can sometimes refer to some very laudable human inclination, such as the yearning to be good. You want to become a good person. You have a desire to become a good person. You have a desire to become an educated person, a knowledgeable person like this. These are desires. Or to serve mankind. But in the Pali word, taṇhā, there is always present the element of selfishness. The element of selfishness. So the word craving is the best rendering of taṇhā. But here is very set point. So translating taṇhā as a desire is not wrong, But it's not good translation, it's not good translation. So we better use the word craving. Craving will be the best. I think we'll go next soda. Nibbāna is directly visible. Sandaitika, in the 6th quality of the Dhamma, the first one is Sandaitika, directly visible, right? Akalika, timeless, etc. Nibbāna is directly visible. So in that soda, so the Buddha said that the one of the Brahmin asked, is Nibbāna directly possible, directly visible? The Buddha said, yes. This is another definition of Nibbāna, It's another definition of Nibbāna. The first one, distraction or craving, that's Nibbāna. But this one, the Brahmin, when excited by lust, rāga, hatred, dosa, delusion, moha. Actually here, lust and greed are the same, they are the same. So in Abhidhamma, in many sodas, the root of unwholesome actions, lobha, dosa, moha. So the Buddha said that Brahmin, when excited by lust, hatred, and delusion, overcome by lust, hatred, and delusion, with the mind observed by it, intends for his own afflictions, for the affliction of others, and for the affliction of both. And he experiences mental suffering and dejection. But here, so the Buddha talk about lust, hatred, delusion. In Pali, lobha, dosa, moha. If you have a lobha, dosa, moha, and you will harm yourself, you will harm other people, you will harm both. So they are the root of unwholesome actions, unwholesome actions. But when lust, hatred, and delusion is abandoned, he does not intend for his own afflictions, for the affliction of others, for the affliction of both. He does not experience mental suffering and dejection. It is in this way that Nibbāna is directly visible. Sandaitika Nibbāna. Actually, this is a definition of Nibbāna. In your mind, if you do not have lobha, dosa, moha, that's Nibbāna. But of course, if you do not have lobha, dosa, moha for 1 minute Nibbāna. For 10 minutes, 10 minute Nibbāna, right? That is we call it Tathīṅga Nibbūta in Bali. Temporary Nibbāna. For that reason, when you practice meditations, the moment you are mindful, the moment you have sampajana, then at that moment, then you attain temporary Nibbāna. Not a real Nibbāna, temporary Nibbāna. So that is a very beautiful definition, very beautiful definition. Then the Buddha said that when Brahmin, when experiences the remainderless distraction of lust, hatred, and delusion, it is in this way too that Nibbāna is directly visible. But this one, remainderless. There's no more lust, no more hatred, no more delusion. So this will be real Nibbāna. The earlier one is not a real one. Temporary Nibbāna, right? Temporary Nibbāna. So sometimes then to understand something, you have to know the opposite one, you know. To know about white color, if you know black color, it's easier, right? Here also, craving is unwholesome, no, not good. If you remove craving, Nibbāna. Lobha, dosa, moha, not good. So if you remove lobha, dosa, moha for a few minutes, then a few minutes Nibbāna. If you totally remove lobha, dosa, moha, then that will be final Nibbāna, you know, the real Nibbāna. So I think that if you can remove lobha, dosa, moha right now, you attain Nibbāna. You experience, you know, the bliss of Nibbāna with your mind. Nibbāna is not a mind. It is an object that you experience with your mind. So even one of the very famous scholars, when I teach about Nibbāna in previous lessons, I use his materials. And he said that Nibbāna is a state of mind, you know. He said that in his video, is a documentary video. He said that Nibbāna is a state of mind. Actually, Nibbāna is not state of mind. It is an object, Dhammaramana, an object that you experience with your mind. We call it mind object. Mind object. Then we will go to related suttas, Nibbāna Panya Sutta. So in this sutta, Vandara Jambukkaraka asked the question to the Venerable Sariputta. Vandara, actually they are educated people. Normally they do not stay in one place. They go around many places. They do not belong anything. So they are very free. And they, when they meet religious people, they debate, you know, they debate. So they are, so Jambukkaraka is one of them. And he asked the question to Venerable Sariputta. Friend Sariputta, it is said, Nibbāna, Nibbāna. What is Nibbāna? Actually, that is what Venerable Sariputta said. The destruction of lust, rāga, the destruction of hatred, dosa, the destruction of delusion, moha, this friend is called Nibbāna. Very simple definition. If there is no lobha, dosa, moha, that's Nibbāna. If you reduce the amount of lobha, dosa, moha a little bit, and you will have a little bit of Nibbāna. If you remove a lot of Nibbāna. If you remove once and for all, that's a real Nibbāna, you know, real Nibbāna. For that reason, we Buddhism always emphasize to understand lobha, dosa, moha, you know. If you understand lobha, dosa, moha, you understand Nibbāna better. The next one is a similar suttas. Jambukkaraka wonder as what is arrangeship? What is arrangeship? Then Venerable Sariputta said that destruction of lust, destruction of hatred, and destruction of delusion is called arrangeship. Somebody became arahant because he destroyed, you know, lobha, dosa, moha. That is arrangeship. So I think that is a very beautiful definition. So up to now, we learned two definitions on Nibbāna. One, craving. total destruction of craving is Nibbāna. So Nibbāna, actually craving have a different level, different level. Starting from misconduct level, of course you have to remove misconduct level. Even normal level, if you can remove, then you will achieve Nibbāna, Nibbāna. And this one, quoting a few sodas, we can understand that Nibbāna is destruction of lobha, dosa, moha. As I earlier said that, even though somebody shouting and criticizing you, no anger at all, peace in your mind, peace in your mind. That's Nibbāna. Question? Okay.
Bhante, if you allow me to ask two very short questions.
Okay.
One is the distinction between desire and craving. Would you say that desire doesn't necessarily arise out of contact with the senses, giving rise to feeling, etc.? That is the distinction. That's the first question. And the second one is, I like the beautiful metaphor that you use of the Dharma, using the raft as a means of realization of the Dharma, and the advice not to cling to the raft after you have made the successful crossing.
Yeah.
But would you kindly say whether it is also Buddha's teaching that instead of clinging to the raft, that you send the raft back to the other shore?
Very beautiful. But when you cross the other shore, then you bring it back, right? But send the raft back. But don't forget that. Don't forget that it's very dangerous. The other shore is very dangerous, But actually, it's just for metaphor. So the Buddha said not to have attachment or clinging toward the Dhamma. But of course, when we are sharing the Dhamma, as you said that, there is a sending the rep back, But at the same time, we have to make sure that we are safe. We are safe. So when we are sharing the Dhamma, we have to make sure that we ourselves, are safe. Not to make use of the Dhamma like this. But regarding with the very short, I will give a very short answer regarding with the difference between desire and craving. I think it's very beautiful to use Abhidhamma method. According to Abhidhamma, desire can associate with any state of mind, whether it's good or bad, good or bad. That's desire. So Abhidhamma use desire to design, to say that desire to add something whether good and bad, right? But Abhidhamma strict, craving as a lobha, craving as a purely unwholesome. But I think that is not totally correct. So actually, craving and desire, they are similar. They are the same, Even we can say almost the same. But the thing is, we use desire to talk about either good or bad. But we normally use craving in negative sense. Even then, craving for Nibbāna is negative sense, Negative sense. But of course, it's the distinction is very, very, very thin, As we have learned that desire for Nibbāna is also bad, But we use the word desire, taṇhā, in a good connotation. Good connotation, just like a, the basis for spiritual power, taṇhā, desire for to do wholesome things. But when we talk about taṇhā or craving, it's always negative. always negative, craving for something, for something. But they are, ultimately they are the same, They are the same. Okay, thank you so much. We'll close our lessons. Yo varatam bhavaro manu jesu sakyamuni bhagava gata kecho paragato bala vidiya samangi Tansu katan saranatamu Rāga virāgama ninjamasokan Dhammama sangata mapatikulan Madhura mimamba gunan suvipatan Dhamma mimam saranatamu pemi Yatha chatena mahapalamahu Chatusu susisu purisa yugesu Atacha bogalam Dasate Sangami Mansara Natamu Bemi Sadhu, Sadhu, Sadhu. Good night, everyone.